Our poet today is Edmund Blunden. Born in the city of London, although he was raised in Kent. He enlisted in 1915 and was pretty much immediately sent off to France. This is a poet who survived the war, but he was not unaffected by it. He suffered lingering physical as well as emotional problems and issues. Many of his peers wrote with an anti-war view. He did not go down that line. His focus was much more centred. He felt it right to share the experience of the man in the trench, the agonies that they endured, the grey faces that he seen hauntingly staring back. Somehow, in capturing these things, he still manages to offer a word of hope. He speaks about those green places. He speaks about those birds singing. He mentions the orchard plots, places where year after year life goes full circle. Growth continues. Much of what he wrote mourned the devastation of the landscape of Europe. The poem that we read is entitled 1916, Scene from 1921. Tired with dull grief, grown old before my day, I sit in solitude and only hear long silent laughters, murmurings of dismay, the lost intensities of hope and fear. In those old marshes, yet the rifles lie, on the thin breastwork flutter the grey rags. The very books I read are there, and I, dead as the men I loved, wait while life drags. Its wounded length from those sad streets of war into green places here that were my own. But now what once was mine is mine no more. I seek such neighbours here, and I find none. With such strong gentleness and tireless will, those ruined houses sear themselves in me. Passionate, I look for their dumb story still, and the charred shrub outspeaks the living tree. I rise up at the singing of a bird, and scarcely knowing slink along the lane. I dare not give a soul a look or word, where all have homes and none's at home in vain. Deep red the rose burned in the grim redoubt. The self-sown wheat around was like a flood. In the hot path the lizard lolled time out. The saints in broken shrines were bright as blood. Sweet Mary's shrine between the sycamores, there we would go, my friend and friends of I, and snatch long moments from the grudging wars, whose dart made light intense to see them by. Shrewd bit the morning fog, the whining shots, spun from the wrangling wire. Then in warm swoon, the sun hushed all but the cool orchard plots. We crept in the tall grass and slept till noon. The effect, the experience that war left with Blunden shines through this poem. He writes as one who is wounded, still breathing, yes, still alive, yes, in a physical way, but emotionally as dead as his colleagues on foreign shores. He finds himself now to be a stranger, even in his own nearest neighbourhood. His friends, those who did not experience what war was all about, have no idea the horrors that he and his colleagues experienced. His only landscape now is a battlefield. Brief, happier moments, they piece his daily grind of simply staying alive. This surely is one of the most honest, personal descriptions of a legacy that the effect of war has. The legacy of what war expects a survivor to carry. He may well have survived the bullet and the shell. He may well have managed to return with his sanity. But this man now feels alienated. He is lost and he is lonely. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Amen.